Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports signing in for another video. And today, I know we're kind of in a bit of a dead part of the off season between now and training camp beginning. So I'm going to do my way too early quarterback rankings heading into the 2025 NFL season. So I'm not going to make this intro any longer. So just make sure you guys leave this video a like. It continues to help this channel to grow. And do me a huge favor, if you're a first-time viewer, make sure you click the subscribe button and notification bell so you not miss another video. Then you have football and wrestling content coming, and I have more things in store, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But without further ado, let's dive into it. Okay, guys, we got 5 categories: elite quarterback, great quarterback, good quarterback, borderline starter, and then a backup. So how I'm going to do this is you'll probably see some of the rookies I'm not going to put above a certain level. I'm not going to really go into so much of guys past, whether we're talking about older quarterbacks or not. So let's just get right into it. And the first quarterback we have is Aaron Rodgers. I think he's going to be a good quarterback. Depends on if he comes back to play football or not. And I'm presuming it's probably going to be for the Steelers. So I think he'll be a good quarterback. I don't see him being at that elite level like we're used to seeing Aaron Rodgers at. So he's going to be good. Aiden O'Connell, I think he's a backup. Like, he's one of those quarterbacks that's serviceable if he plays and when he plays, but I don't think he's your long-term answer at the position. He's more of a fill-in guy. And the same thing for Andy Dalton. He's a fill-in guy at this stage of his career. He's never was that elite quarterback. He was always a good to solid starting quarterback, even at the most of his point in Cincinnati. And now at the point of this career, he's more of a backup. Now it's Anthony Richardson. I'm rooting for him to have success. But now I'm going to put him on borderline starter. I think this is year 3. And if you guys don't know, I've always said 3 years is where a quarterback should have their most growth. Year 3 is where we can really tell if the quarterback can play or if the quarterback is just not worth it or he's just not it for that specific franchise. This is a make or break year for Anthony Richardson in 2025. This first 2 years, whether it's been injuries or whether it's been inconsistent play in the benching, this is the year where we really see to find out if Anthony Richardson is the future of the Indianapolis Colts. I put him in borderline starter for now, but I am going to be honest, I am rooting for him to be a good quarterback. Next is Baker Mayfield. I'm putting him at great quarterback. He's a good I'd say he's good, but I think he's a level above Aaron Rodgers, especially at this stage of his career. And Baker Mayfield, despite him being written off by Cleveland, written off by the Panthers, and he had that stint with the Rams, these last 2 years with him in Tampa have seen him have his best career years as far as playing that quarterback position. And he's changed things around for that Tampa Bay Buccaneers organization. So he's definitely not elite, but I put him at that great quarterback level. Next is Bo Nix. I'm going to put him a level below. I'm going to put him at good quarterback for now, even though I really love what he did last season in his rookie year with Sean Payton and that Broncos offense. I've always been one to not judge quarterbacks so fast, even if they have great rookie years, whether it's been Jaden Daniels. And speaking of the point of Jaden Daniels, only reason I'm going to put him above Bo Nix and put him at great is the mobility. Like I said, with the young quarterbacks, a small body of work, but but the one thing I do fear for both of these quarterbacks is they take a step back. Mainly on the Jaden Daniels side, even though I pray this does not happen. I always fear that if you have such a spectacular rookie year, you might take a step back, i.e. C.J. Stroud last year from The Ohio State University. So I fear that. And it's not nothing against either football player because I like both of them. But it's just they set the bar so high for their rookie seasons. I'm interested to see if they can actually continue that going forward. But for now, I'm going to put him at great only because of the mobility that he has. That Bo Nix, he's mobile in his own right, but he's not a Jaden Daniels level mobile. Next is Brock Purdy. I put him at great quarterback. Even though I think this year is going to be very interesting within that 49ers organization as far as where that football team is going to be with the weapons around him. I think this is going to be a telling year for him as far as, is he really a product of the system or is he actually a great quarterback? I think this is going to be a telling year for that. So if we're talking about just Brock Purdy right now, I put him in a level above Knicks and a level above Aaron Rodgers. I put him at that great quarterback status for now. Next, we're going to have Bryce Young. I put him at a good quarterback. I do like how he bounced back from being benched last season. I do like the way he played down the stretch, and we've seen glimpses that he can be the starting quarterback for the Panthers for the future. I'm interested to see, like I said, in Anthony Richardson's case, year 3 is where we're really going to see where he's going to be at. So I'm going to put him there for now. Now we have my quarterback from my Chicago Bears, Caleb Williams. He has the potential to be great. I'm going to put him at good for now, only because I'm interested to see how things will change from year 1 to year 2, especially under new head coach, new offensive coordinator, new system. He has added weapons in Loveland. He has Luther Burden, along with DJ Moore, DeAndre Swift in that backfield with Cole Kmet, also a tight end. I like where this Bears team is going. I like the projection of Caleb Williams going forward, but I'm interested to see how he's going to handle the transition period from a new offense in year 1 to a brand new offense in year 2, and how the development of him will go. I'm not going to put him at great yet. He has the talent level to do so. But I just want to see where the development is going to be in this second year of his career. I'm rooting for him, but I'm going to put him at good for now. Now, these rookies are going to... I almost want to add a new category for the rookies. And that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to put Cam Ward at rookie quarterback. I'm not one of those guys who's going to have the highest expectations for Cam Ward. Number one, he's going into a bad situation, as most number and overall picks do. And for the season for the Titans, it just needs to be all about the development of Cam Ward. I like the athleticism of Cam Ward. He can make plays on the run, even though I'm sick and damn tired of people comparing him to Patrick Mahomes as far as his playmaking ability. We have to see that in the NFL level. I think he's going to be a good quarterback. I am one that has to see it first. I learned my lesson for Bear quarterbacks. I want to see it. So I'm just going to I'm going to just go through all the rookies right now and just put them in rookie category. Whether we're talking about, where is he at? Where they're talking about Jalen Moreau, who got drafted by the Seahawks. His mobility gives him, I think, a little bit more of a promise than probably a Shedeur Sanders, who I'm also going to look for, and I can't find him. Will Howard, another rookie from The Ohio State University, national champion Ohio State University. I think he might get a bit of a shot in Pittsburgh. I really do. Mainly because Pittsburgh quarterback issues now with Aaron Rodgers at this point of me recording still remains unsigned. That's going to be a bit of a head scratcher. So I think he's going to end up playing at some point if Aaron Rodgers does not decide to go there. Dylan Gabriel, another one who I am surprised that the Browns took him, and Shedeur Sanders as well. And any other rookies I can see? There's Shedeur. I'm putting all the rookies in just their own rookie category. I just go of the fact that we have not seen them play. I'm shocked Shedeur went that low, and I'm going to probably do a video about that, my thoughts on that, probably sometime later this week. So I'm kind of surprised at that, but I do like the potential of a guy like Cam Ward, and we got to find the other rookies in here. I think that's Tyler Shaw. I'm so bad at what they look like. Tyler Shaw and Jaxson Dart. I do like the potential of each of these quarterbacks, but I don't think any of these quarterbacks, probably outside of Cam Ward, is probably going to play week 1. And I'm going to be honest. None of these quarterbacks outside of outside of Cam Ward, is going to play week 1. I will be honest. I don't see Shedeur playing week 1. I don't see Gabriel playing week 1. I don't see my guy Will Howard or Milroe playing week 1. I don't see Dart or Tyler Shaw playing week 1. I just don't see it. The only one that's going to probably play week 1, and the only one that's probably should play week 1 is Cam Ward. To be honest with you, I like the potential of possibly a Will Howard, mainly because of the situation that he's in. I do like the potential of Jaxson Dart because of the situation that he's in. He's not going to be rushed to play right away. Neither is Tyler Shaw, even though he's probably going to play at some point this season with the Derek Carr shoulder problem. And then we're inconclusive about Spencer Rattler. Maybe Shedeur plays at some point. I don't see Milroe playing as far as the main quarterback right away, especially with them signing Sam Darnold this offseason. So Cam Ward is probably going to be the only one that actually plays right away. But either way we go, let's go to the veterans back. My boy, C.J. Stroud from The Ohio State University. I put him at great quarterback only because of what he had to deal with last year was bad offensive line play. And he had injuries to Tank Dell, and he had injuries to Stephon Diggs at the wide receiver position. And also Nico Collins missed a handful of games because of injury. I think he's still one of the more accurate quarterbacks in the NFL. He's very deceptively mobile. And at this point in his career, I just think last year just kind of was a down year because the offensive line just did not play well. And that hampered them. But we've seen what he can do in the playoffs with them just blowing the waters off of the Chargers. And I think they were a couple plays away from making that Kansas City Chiefs game is really closer than what the score may have indicated. So I'm going to put CJ at that great quarterback. Dak Prescott, this one's a little bit tricky for me. I'm going to put him at that great quarterback because I do see him at levels above Rodgers in that role right there. But at this point of his career, with where things are going with this Dallas Cowboys roster, and especially with the pressure of him getting that huge extension before the season last year, I think a lot of the Cowboys season is going to be riding on how Dak plays. And I think Dak is a very solid quarterback, but is he the one that's going to take you over? I'm possibly saying no. He still plays at a very good level, great level. MVP discussion 2 years ago, 2023, and the injury held him last year. So we shall see with Dak Prescott, but I think he could be a great quarterback for the Cowboys. That's just me. Next is going to be Daniel Jones. I put him as a backup. I was one, and you guys, if you guys aren't new to the channel, or if you are new, I've been one of the ones that's never been a big believer in Daniel Jones, even from the start. I've never been a big believer in Daniel Jones. He had that one good year in 2022, which let him get that contract, had some injury bugs, and he just did not play well ever since. And I think that 2022 year, and I said it then, I think it was a fluke of the season. And I think I don't think he's that good of a quarterback. And I think he's going to be career backup for this point in his career, unless things change. Next is Davis Mills, also a backup quarterback. And he was that bridge starter to the Texans wanted to figure out what they wanted to do at the quarterback position with C.J. Stroud. So I'm going to put him at backup. Serviceable quarterback, but not a potential starter. Derek Carr, I'm putting Derek Carr at borderline starter right now. When he has been healthy, he's kind of struggled. And I think the problem with him the last few years has been health and inconsistent play. So I put him at borderline starter because even if he is cleared, or even if that shoulder injury is not as bad as things anticipated, or he probably misses some time, I just don't think he's going to be the long-term answer for the Saints at that quarterback position. So I put him at borderline starter only because I just don't think he's going to last the season, whether it's play or whether it's injuries. I put him at borderline starter. Deshaun Watson, he's an inconclusive, so I just have to put him somewhere. I had to put him at backup only because he's probably not going to play in 2025 with the old Achilles injury. So, and then on top of that, I don't think the Browns are going to retain him after this season. They're going to try to find a way to get out of that contract, which I think was a mistake in the first place. So I'm going to put him at backup. Drake May from the Patriots. I'm going to put him at good quarterback. I did really like what I've seen from Drake May, even though that football team in 2024 wasn't really talented, and they went out and spent money this free agency, whether it's getting a guy like Stephon Diggs to help pair with him. I do like the potential of Drake May as the Patriots starting quarterback, and he has a very good head coach in Mike Vrabel that I think is probably going to potentially help him develop. So I do like what Drake May can potentially be. We've seen he has a strong arm. We see he's very accurate, but I just think he's still going to be more developed. And I think with having some more weapons, I think you'll see better play coming out of him. So I'm going to put him at good quarterback. A guy like Gardner Minshew, to me, he's always been like that Ryan Fitzpatrick. Like, he'll have moments, but he'll start to struggle. I think he's at that potential point of his career. He's been bounced around ever since coming to the league in 2019. I just think he's going to be a backup. He's going to be one of those guys that's going to come in and have some spot starts, but outside of that, he's a backup. Geno Smith, I'll put him at a good quarterback. I think he's going to be a bit better off with Pete Carroll, back with Pete Carroll with the Raiders and what they could potentially do with the running game. I still think they may need a few more receiver weapons, but that's neither here nor there. But I see Geno Smith as a good quarterback in 2025. Jacoby Brissett, as much as I like him, he can play some. He really can play, but he's just a backup at this point. He's going to be a backup, one of those serviceable backups. So I put him there. Okay, we have Jake Browning, a backup quarterback for the Bengals, and that's exactly what he is, a backup. Spot starter, he can come in and have some production when he's in the lineup, but nothing more than a backup. Jalen Hurts, this one is a little tricky, but I'm going to put him at an elite quarterback level. Reigning Super Bowl champion, reigning Super Bowl MVP. He did have some kind of struggles in 2024, but I still put him as one of the top echelon quarterbacks that we have in the NFL. Very, very mobile. We know what he can do with the tush push. We know what he can do as a runner. But I think over his career, he has become a better thrower of the football. And I think the Super Bowl really showed that he can really throw the football with the best of them. I'm a fan of Jalen Hurts. I love to watch him play. So I'm putting Jalen Hurts at the elite quarterback level. Jameis Winston, I put him at borderline starter. He's in that borderline starter in between good quarterback level. I wouldn't want Jameis Winston to be my full-time starter, but I would want, if he's going to be the quarterback, I think if somebody gets hurt or inconsistent play, I think he's good in spot duty. This is why I say borderline starter. So I like Jameis Winston, but he's just a little bit too inconsistent to be a good quarterback as far as these rankings go. So I'm going to put him at borderline. Jared Goff, he had a bad playoff game. Really bad playoff game with those 3 interceptions. But I put him at elite with the top quarterbacks in the NFL. He had a very good 2023, very good 2024, very accurate. And I'm interested to see how he's going to look outside of Ben Johnson's offense, but I put him at the elite quarterback at this point for now. Next is Jimmy Garoppolo. I put him at a borderline starter, close to backup, only because he's kind of in that Jameis Winston category for me, as in he could be a serviceable quarterback if he plays, but I just wouldn't want him as my full-time starter, so I will put him in that borderline starter lane. J.J. McCarthy, he's kind of incomplete, and that's the only reason I'm putting him in borderline starter, not because he went to Michigan. It's because we didn't see him last year. He had got that preseason game, which he did look solid in, but I can't put him anywhere below. I can't put him in backup because I think he's going to be the starter for the Vikings, which I think he should. If you spend the first round pick on a guy, maybe gets hurt, he doesn't play, you got to develop him. So I'll put him in borderline starter for now, but I want to see him be a good quarterback. As much as it pains me to say it, for 2 reasons. 1, he's in my Bears division, and 2, he went to Michigan. But other than that, I'll put those things aside. I do want to see him succeed. I don't want to see nobody just flat out bust and just be trash or anything like that. I'm not that type of a person. But it's incomplete on him. Joe Burrow, elite. One of my personal favorite quarterbacks to watch. He could be very accurate with the football, even though he had a few fourth quarter struggles last year. And I think a lot of that was that defense was so bad that everything was put on his shoulders. And we see what he can do when he's fully healthy. One of the top tier quarterbacks in the NFL. And I think if the Bengals would have made the playoffs, he would have had a stronger argument for that MVP conversation. Joe Flacco, at this point of his career, I put him more in a backup role. He's almost borderline starter, but at this point, I think I'm gonna leave him in backup. He's potential. He could be solid, but he's a backup. Next is Joe Milton. I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna put Joe Milton at borderline starter if he gets a chance. I think he could be a starter at some point during his career, whether it's injury, whether it's opportunity that opens up. It's weird that the Cowboys traded for him, which is actually mind-boggling for me, maybe to a tad, but they did lose Cooper Rush, so maybe that's it. But Jordan Love, I hate to give compliments to a Packer. I put Jordan Love at that great quarterback range, even though, like I said, that great quarterback range, I think it kind of ranges a little bit. But for me, I put him above the good quarterbacks because we've seen he can have consistent play when he's healthy. But the problem is his inability to stay healthy for the most part. And he has some up and down moments. But I put him in a level above a good quarterback for now, even though I don't want him to be a great quarterback. I don't want him to be elite. I'm a Bears fan, so either way he is. But my favorite quarterback in the league, Josh Allen, elite, the reigning MVP. I just wish he would get over that damn hump with Patrick Mahomes. But great quarterback, very good mobility. We see what he can do, even when he didn't have the multitude of weapons, had an MVP season. He had that Bills team still at the top, despite them losing a lot in 2024's offseason. So we see that Josh Allen is elite. I just want him to get a ring, or I just want him to get to a Super Bowl so bad. So bad. And that's just my personal bias speaking. I want to see it. Josh Dobbs, he's a backup quarterback. He has good moments when he's in, but he's one of those quarterbacks that's just not consistent enough. My boy, Justin Fields from the Ohio State University, former Bear. Now he's with the Jets. I'm going to put him at that good quarterback level. I think giving him a shot, I think you're going to really see some things unlock that we really didn't see too much in Chicago with their inability to develop quarterbacks. We didn't see it too much in Pittsburgh last year because we just knew, or not we just knew, I think Tomlin just really wanted to go with Russell Wilson regardless, but the Russell Wilson injury kind of held him back, and he had to play Justin, so I'm going to put him at good, and it's not my biasness speaking. I think with him being the legit starter and giving a chance to develop or giving a chance to play, I think he's going to prove some people wrong. Next is Justin Herbert. I put him, this one's a little tough because Justin Herbert can be elite, but this one's tough. I can't put everybody in the league. I'm going to put Justin Herbert in the good category. Justin Herbert's deep ball is very pretty. He has mobility that I think he can change a bit of what things go with his mobility. But I just want him to be a bit more consistent. You know, the Chargers, I still think they need to get a few more weapons for him. But I'm going to put him at that great quarterback level. Kenny Pickett, he's like a borderline starter / backup. He's come in and can be serviceable, but you just don't want him to be your full-time starter. I don't think he got a proper chance to develop with the Steelers either. And there's a lot of quarterbacks on this list that didn't get proper chances to develop with teams that drafted them. And I think we're seeing that as a bit of a pattern in today's league. So Kirk Cousins, I also put him at a borderline starter. He had a couple of solid games, but I don't think he's fully recovered from that torn Achilles that he suffered in 2023. So I put him at that borderline starter level. Kyler Murray, I'm sorry. I'll be honest with you guys. If I've said this a couple of times, I'm not the biggest believer in Kyler Murray. Not the biggest believer in Kyler Murray. He's too inconsistent. I don't think he's as accurate as a quarterback should be at that position. I like to see him have success, but I'm just gonna be honest. I haven't really been sold on Kyler Murray, let's say the last 2-3 seasons. So I'll be honest, I'll put him at good quarterback. I can't put him at great. Next is Lamar Jackson, top tier echelon quarterback in the league. Arguably could have been the MVP last year. Very consistent. We know what he can do running the football. He's becoming better and better each season throwing the football. So I'll put him at the elite quarterback. Mac Jones, backup at this point. He had that one solid rookie year, and it just fell off ever since then. And that's why I say give quarterbacks a 3-year window to really see what they can do. Instead of being them after their rookie year, just putting them in an elite category already after one season. You can't do it. Because people were putting a Mac Jones, he could possibly be elite after one season. I need to see about 2 or 3. At least 3. Mac Jones is a career backup at this point. So is Malik Willis, career backup at this point of his career. I like Malik Willis, but he's just a backup. Mariota, also a backup. Mason Rudolph, also a backup. And actually, I could put Mariota as a borderline starter because I think he can have some success as far as his mobility goes. I think that puts him above maybe a Rudolph, puts him above some of these other quarterbacks, maybe a Mac Jones. I think his mobility and the way the Washington Commanders run their offense, I think he could be a borderline spot starter if something happens to Jaden Daniels. So I'll put him at borderline starter. Matthew Stafford, I'm sorry, I'm still going to put him at elite. We see where that Rams team was when he was in the lineup playing good football, and they were a couple plays away from beating the eventual Super Bowl champion Eagles in the playoffs. The Rams were very close to beating that team. And Dan Orlovsky said it all season, that Rams team is scary, and a lot of it had to do with the way that Matthew Stafford was playing. Even though he's 37 years old, he's still playing at an elite level. And until I see a drop-off, I'm not going to put him anywhere but elite. Next is Michael Penix Jr. I put him at that good quarterback range. I think he had some success when his first reign as a starter. I think he was a little bit late as far as starting, so we didn't get to see but only so much. But I see growth there. I see potential there, and which is why I put him at a good starter. I'll put him at a good quarterback. Trubisky, backup. I don't like this Trubisky like a lot of Bears fans do. Next, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, come on. Can we put him anywhere but elite? Top quarterbacks, 3 straight Super Bowl appearances, 3 rings. He's basically carried a lot of that Kansas City Chiefs football team last year, along with the defense. And we know he had a bad Super Bowl, but it's just hard to beat this guy down the stretch. He's still elite. Russell Wilson, this was tough. At this point of his career, I'm putting him in that borderline starter. Borderline starter. I don't think he's great anymore. I don't think he's that good anymore. And we see the limitations he has in his game, and he doesn't really throw the ball in the intermediate range. So I'm gonna put him at borderline starter because I don't see him lasting past. I just don't see him lasting very long as a Giants starter. And I think he's probably gonna be the starter for the Giants heading into the season. Next is Sam Darnold. I can't put him at great yet. He had a great 2024, but he's a little bit tough. I want to put him at great, but I just can't do it just yet. Maybe, I don't know. It's just something about it I can't do. Sam Howell, backup. He's going to be the backup. Solid. He had some moments when he was with the Commanders, but he's nothing more than a backup at this point. Spencer Rattler is a borderline starter because you can see potential in him. I just think he just has to develop more, in my opinion. He just has to develop a little more. I think he's a borderline starter from what I've seen. I had to Google who this guy was. I didn't know his face, to be honest. Tanner McKee, backup quarterback. Tommy DeVito, backup quarterback. Trevor Lawrence is a tricky one here. I haven't seen enough to put him in the great quarterback range yet. He has moments, but he just been a bit inconsistent in his Jaguars career. Last year, we know he had the concussions. We know he had the injuries. I can't put him at great just yet. As much as he pains, I like Trevor Lawrence's skill set, but I just haven't seen enough yet. Now, this one's a little bit tricky too, because Tua, when healthy, he's out of that great quarterback range. I'm going to put him there. Tua, when he's fully healthy and playing, that Dolphins team always has a chance to win. But the problem has been injuries. So I'm going to put him at that great quarterback for now. But then we're going to have these last three. Tyrod Taylor, backup. Will Levis, backup at this point. I haven't seen enough from him. And Zach Wilson, backup. But this is my rankings for the quarterbacks going into 2025. I'm going to go back, probably revisit this video again. Things are probably going to change. And I probably might do like a before season, depending on how I see in the preseason. But this is my list. And that's all I have for you guys today. Make sure you guys leave this video a like as it continues to help this channel to grow. And make sure you leave a subscription and click the notification bell so you will not miss anything I post. But I'm APW Sports signing out. Make sure you guys stay safe. Have a great next day. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.